part of the water, you cannot manage alone. No unilateral management, either bilateral or multilateral, because we all share the water. Unilateral management cannot, once it's transboundary. One thing also that is very important to tell us, with all the potentiality of the Congo Basin, it has all of this water. Created, you have the second longest river in the world, the River Congo, shared by DRC and Congo-Kinshasa Republic, just like flow of Senegal, flow of Gambia. With all of that potential, the talk of moving water to fill Lake Chad don't solve the problem of Lake Chad and create another problem. You have to have a solution that is win-win. And that's its environmental credit. It's transfer of water. How do we do it? That has been for the last 15 years. I work on it at UNEP to transfer. We've got too much water at the Congo Basin. To Lake Chad has lost over 40% of its water to refill it. Saying that don't solve problem, create a problem. That's thing to do. But with all that potentiality of water in the Congo Basin, less than 50% have access to potable water. Things need to be done, and they are working on it. That's why President, His Excellency Gasingoko, the President of DRC, has created, and the President of the Congo Basin Authority, and created this fund blow, to help finance all the water management in the Congo Basin so that it will meet the needs and aspirations of their people, being water for drinking, being water for agriculture, etc. That's very important. Thank you very much, Madam le Ministre. Now, my next speaker is Dr. Hesham Bekhit, who is a professor at the University of Cairo, a consultant at the Ministry of Water Resources and the Nile water sector, currently coordinator of water engineering and environment bachelor program at Cairo University, the first civil engineering bachelor's degree, also executive coordinator for shared water resources diploma in Cairo University, a one-year diploma specialized in shared water resources management, hosting candidates from Ministry of Water from the Nile Basin. That's excellent cooperation. Get all of those people, train them on how to manage them. I give you the floor, Professor. And you know, professors like standing. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. I really feel honorable to talk after His Excellency, the Minister of Water and Environment in Congo, and Professor Bassaus. This is very high profile, so I feel very honorable to talk after them and with these panelists. So today I'm just share with you a little bit about the challenges and opportunities and also some aspiration for the Nile Basin country. So just to continue on the floor on the cooperation, so let's talk a little bit about the Nile Basin and try to see the diagnosis. Where is the challenges that we are facing and where is the opportunity and where we hope to go. So a little bit about the background, just to set the scene for those who are not familiar with the information of the Nile Basin. The Nile Basin, although it is the longest river in the world and one of the highest catchment area, and receive a lot of water, is about 1,600 to 2,000 billion cubic meter of rainfall. However, the runoff of the river Nile is very low, which has put a lot of question about the water availability and water for availability and security for the Nile Basin. The second point that I need to share with you about information, the demography. So if we look to the demography of the Blue Nile, we found that the total population of the Nile Basin is about 500 million person. And if we look inside here to see the distribution of the people, you'll find that about 50% of the people of the Nile Basin country are living on the Nile Basin. With that, about Egypt, like 40% of the people who live in the Nile Basin. And if we look to the category of these population, we will find that most of them are youth in the brackets of 20 and 30 years. So this is put a question of the needs for developments, the stress and pressure on the resources that's already scarce. And the other things that I need to share with you is this is the GDP of all the Nile Basin country compared with the regions. So you will find that most of all of them are developing country. So we still need to be developed. And the last thing that I need to share with you with the background is, although if you look to the graph on the left-hand side in the lower part, although there are different rainfall in all Nile Basin countries, you'll find some countries wealth of rainfall and some countries very poor in rainfall receiving. But if we look to the food trade, you will find all the Nile Basin country are net import food, although they have a lot of water. But yeah, I mean, if you found in Egypt, you find very scarce water, very limited water resources, very high net import of food. Although the other parts, maybe you'll find in Congo, although you have a lot of water, but still they are net import. And the same in Tanzania, the same in Sudan, which put some question about the management and how we can get more drop per crop. So, looking with this background, let's just focus on some main challenges that we are faced in the Nile Basin. And the first and foremost is the population. If you look to the total population, we will find that during 2050, the number of population will increase by about 20%, that will receive just for drinking to the incremental increase will use about 20% of the current yield. So no way we will be continue sustainable with the current level of losses. So we need to look for the water saving, and we need to look at more management to our system. This is one of the major challenges that we are facing in the Nile Basin. The second challenge that we are looking, this is from the MBI Atlas. So if we look to the production of different crops, you will find that most of the country, maybe except Egypt, was shown in the blue curve, having low productivity. So we need to work a little bit more, and we need to share and exchange the knowledge, more enhancing our crop pattern, enhancing our production, and little bit do interchange between the other Nile basins. And one of the very threatening part and component is the unilateral actions. So unfortunately, although all the countries are needs for development, but if the development is based on national or local interest, without looking to the whole picture, the regional aspects, then you will not find a sustainable development. So unilateral is the nightmare for the basin perspective. So we have to shift these unilateralism and look into more of multilateralism. Think regionally together for the best of the region. Because without regional view, with unilateral action, there will not be sustainable environment. And the last challenge that I need to share with you is the climate change. The climate change is putting a lot of threat and a lot of uncertainty on our future. So with climate change, most of the records saying there will be a decrease in the river yield, there will be increase in temperature. This will be putting a lot of stress on the water resources that's already scarce and put a lot of stress on the condition that we have. So this is another common challenge that we need to unify and look regionally to solve this challenge. So let us shift the gear a little bit and talk about the opportunity. So looking about the opportunities, the good things, the Nile Basin have several arms of good opportunities. We have long history of cooperation. We have room for vast amount of water that loss we can consider. We have to think beyond the water. We have a lot of shared things and themes that we can do together in the Nile Basin. So just to highlight some, if we look, the first component that I need to share with you is here, where we can have a lot of water saving. We have a lot of water saving. And if we look to the cooperation, yes, please. So if we look,
Yeah, it's working. It's working.
yeah. If we look to the cooperation here on this map, this is just a map showing a history of cooperation between Egypt and the different Nile Basin countries, either bilaterally or multilaterals. So we have very long series of cooperation, as you can see here, between all the countries that's spread from aquatic movement, management with wells, groundwater, hydrodynamics, so a lot. So we have a very long history of cooperation that we can build on it. And the third opportunity that I need to share with you is the matter of inner trade. I see there are a lot of opportunity for inner trade, inner basin trade. So if we look to the concept of virtual water, and the virtual water concern about the amount of water that the crop can produce. So we can find that certain crop in country A more productive for the same crop in country B. So we can exchange. So cultivate crop A in this country, cultivate crop B in that country, and do the inner trade. And this is based on the concept of green water and blue water. As you know, there are green water and blue water, and some countries are familiar with others, as you can see here from these graphs. So the inner trade and the virtual water concept are among the very important opportunity that we have on the Nile Basin. And if you look to this map, it's unfortunate. If you look to the import and export on the Nile Basin, you will find most of them are not inter-basin, are not trade between themselves, are trading all around the world. This is good, but if you trade without inside the basin, this will resolve the issues in the basin. So we have a room for that as well. And the last thing that I need to share about the opportunity is thinking beyond water. It's not only water, just think beyond water. One of these projects is the linking between Lake Victoria and Mediterranean Sea. This will cause a link for a trade, and if you look, one barrage can carry the amount of volume that's needs for 1,200 trucks. So this is a very good opportunity, and this will open a trade, will open the borders. We can put some rules for customers and more enhancing our basin together. And finally, my aspiration and my hope for the Nile Basin, I believe the first thing, I'm looking forward to think in regional. When I'm looking to the other basin, for instance, the Rhine River Basin, I found there are a lot of cooperation between themselves in climate change, in mitigating the flood, in mitigating the drought, in pollution control. So we have to work together in a regional perspective. My second point that I need to see is we have to shift. We have to shift from unilateral thinking to multilateral thinking. I don't like to see our news like this one on the left-hand side, whereas Turkana and Lake and the Jebbi Dam, there are some dispute and fight between them. I prefer to see the other side in Senegal River, as you can see, 37 of success. So we need to shift from unilateral to multilateral. And finally, my last word or take-home message that I want to share is for the Nile Basin, in order for prosperity and order for sustainability, we need to think regionally, we need to think beyond the water, we need to think as one nation and one destiny. Thank you so much.